Hi learners, welcome to IoT design and applications as well as elements of network simulation. So in this video lecture, most of you are from Windows background, Windows OS users, but some of you might be needing some help on how to use Linux. So how to use Linux for the learning of IoT platform, IoT OS, simply we called as Contiki OS, and for in network simulator 3 for elements of network simulation. So what are the different basic Linux usages you might be thinking of? So first we have to know commands. So Linux works with commands. So as you see, Windows also any operating system will work with commands. So usually we have something called as prompt. So usually prompt we have called as prompt can be referred like this. So you can see this here. This is the prompt. So you can see a dollar symbol. So this entire thing is called as prompt. So prompt is represented as something at prompt called dollar. So this is what it representing as. This is the prompt. So this the first one is why we need a prompt. Okay, next the basic command is ls. Ls is listing the files and folders. So list files and folders. So ls means it will list all the files and folders. So you can see that this is contiguous is a folder, this is a folder, this is a folder, this is a file, this is a file, this is a file, and blue colors are meant as folders. So even if you know Windows, you can use dir command also, directory command. So directory command will tell you that everything in same color, so it doesn't represent what is a folder and what is a file. So in case if you want to check it with the ls, so let's say you want to go with the ls-l means long format. In case the long format will be shown like this. So D means directory, the first letter D means directory, the hyphen means it is a file. So from this you can able to understand which is the directory and which is the file. Okay, so now these things are directory and it has so many other things, rwx, r-x, r-x. So in that case we can see that the command is usually I put dollar here, so ls-l, so this command, and drwx, rwx, rwx. So it means D means directory, small d means directory. First rwx it's for owner of the file. Second rwx for group. So if you are part of any group, that is group. Third rwx for other users. So that's what this rwx refers. 3 rwx. So r means read, w means write, and x means execute permission. So that's what the rwx. So in case if you want to change a mode of a file, so let's say in this folder can be accessed by anybody, not only the owner, the group, and the others, everyone, but here r-x. So that means that drwx, r-x, r-x. So this means that d, you just leave out the d here. rwx is 111 space 101 space 101. Okay, so now what does it indicates in binary number? 111 is 7 in binary to decimal to binary conversion. 101 is 5, another 101 is 5, so 755. So to change this mode of this file, to change the mode of the directory, what do I do is, so I want to give the permission. So what do I give the permission? rwx, rwx, rwx. I want to give the permission like this, rwx. In that case what I do, 111 111 111, so which is nothing but 777. So the command here is chmod 77. Name of the file is contiki ng. So this is what I am going to give. Okay, so now what I do is I'll give the command chmod 777 contiki ng. Okay, now no errors. Now you can see ls-l. See, now you can see that the entire folder is given like this, drwx, rwx, rwx, and the contiki ng. Above that we have something like a green color box has formed above the particular command. So that means anybody can able to access this folder. So that means that file permissions are very strong in Linux operating system. Anybody can able to access. So there is a second command that we have used. So first command is ls, the second command is chmod. So chmod is the changing the mode. So even for a particular file also we can do it, but config cd you can see go config ng, and inside that folder you can see -l. So these folders are again, simply see that these folders are again r-x r-x only. So that means that, so only the corresponding folder alone has been changed, inside folders are not been changed. In case if you want to change the folders inside also, then there's a separate command for that. So I'll leave it to you. So you can use change chmod -R recursive. So you have to give this way. So let me not go into that, so that we'll use it. So again I will change this folder name to the, I will just revert it back to 755. Okay, so you can check it now. Yes, this is config ng. So okay, fine. So this is one command. The third command is the present working directory, pwd. Pwd is not password, it is present working directory. So that means pwd, that means the present working directory, in which directory you are currently working on. Okay, so in this directory, so let's say I want to go into config ng, then cd tools, then cd kuja. So I am in this folder now. Now you use pwd, you will get the complete folder structure. Okay, so pwd means present working directory. So usually this is very important. If somebody if anyone is asking for you remotely, if they want to help you out, the first command they will be asking you is what, in which directory you are currently working on. So in that case you can use this present working directory. Okay, in case you want to change the password, simply the command is passwd. So that means that passwd. So this is a command. So current Unix password, what is the Unix password I have given? So unchanged, because I given the same password again and again. Anyway, I'll just close this. I'll just close this. So in case you want to change the password, you can change the password. So that's how the command here is passwd. Okay, so that is the next command that we can think of. So next is dot slash. What do you mean by dot slash? So dot slash means, see, let me show you a small example, very fast example. I'll just show you. Control T. I'll just run a small C file, hash include hash stdio.header file, then integer main, then return 0, file.c. The name of the file is file.c. Okay. So integer main, then integer a comma b comma c, then print of c equals a plus b, print of percentage d means sum is percentage d c. Very simple example. So I can give the value of a equal to 1 and b equal to 2. Okay. So file.c, I have given the name, file name as file.c. So ls file.c, you can check it, the file is here. Okay. Okay, now I will be running the file using the gcc compiler, gcc file.c. Simply I just run the command, sorry, gcc space file.c. So it runs. Now once you check it, you see that there is a file called as a.out is created. I want to run this file. So generally in Windows machine and DOS, what you do is, there will be exe file created. You just double click the exe file, it will simply run. Here when I use a.out here, it doesn't know what is a.out, because in Linux and Unix families, they always check for the global commands. So whenever when you type a.out, whether it is globally pointing out, it will be checked always globally. But I want to see that the current file is available in the current folder. So I want to run in this color folder. In that case, we have to use dot slash. So dot slash indicates it's a current folder. So let's say, for example, dot slash indicates current directory. Okay, so that means this command is to indicate the current directory. So now in this case, dot slash, then simply use a.out. It will say that the sum is 3, because 1 and 2 we have added, so the sum is 3. Okay, so that's how the way that dot slash a.out will be working. So what is dot slash? So dot slash is the previous directory. Okay, so I will show you that. Okay, so now what I do is cd. Whenever you put cd and enter, it comes to your home, any folder. So cd, the command cd brings to your home. Command cd brings to your home. So that means anywhere you type cd and press enter, it brings to your home. Okay, I will show you that. Cd Contiki, then tools, then Kuja. Okay, now in this directory pwd, you just check it, we are in this directory. Okay, my home folder is /home/Pradeep Kumar. So type cd and press enter, it comes to your home. Now you check pwd, we are in the home folder now. So cd is a powerful command that can bring you to the home folder. Okay, so now I will just check you what is this double dot slash do. Okay, now I use dot slash means within the current directory it will check everything. Okay, double dot slash means within the previous directory, you can see that. So when I use dot slash, these are the folders available. When I use double dot slash, it opens the previous folder. Still one more double dot and use slash, it will show one more previous folder. Again dot slash, it shows, just see that this is the home folder. Okay, so this is the home folder, it is showing. Still one more, it will show you the, see that this is the home folder, it is showing. See, beyond that it is not going. So that means that dot slash refers to previous directory. Okay, so we can simply indicate it dot slash like that. We can indicates 3 levels of previous directory. Okay, so this is very important because we occasionally use these commands here. Okay, so to compile C program, I'll just show you that. To compile C program, command is gcc file name .c. Okay, any file name .c, it will create a.out file which can be run using /a.out. So this is the command that we can use of. Okay, there is another method available, I'll just show you that. Okay, so now I use cd, I bring it here. Now file.c is there, sorry, ls file.c is here. So we already have this file. Now let's say I want to rename this file. So the rename command is there. Okay, but it's not there. Anyway, then I will have a simple command called as, so ls I have file.c, it's there. Now I have a command called as move file.c to which file I want to move. So I want to, let's say, move ls.c. So let me give the file name as ls.c. So now you can see that move file.c to ls.c. When I type ls now, I got a file called as ls.c. So the file.c is moved. Okay, so in that case, to rename a file, the command is mv source file destination. Okay, destination file. So here in this way, my command is move file.c to ls.c. Okay, so now I have ls.c. Now let's say this a.out I am removing. So rm a.out. So that means to remove a file. To remove a file, use the command rm. Remove is rm file name. Okay, so to remove a directory, so very careful about this command. To remove an entire directory, you can use that rm-rf directory. So whatever there within the directory, everything will be removed recursively and force. So the R for recursive means go inside file directory inside and delete all the files. So that's why rm-rf directory. Okay, so that is a powerful command. So I am using rm a.out. So a.out is removed. Okay, so now what I do is I have ls.c file. Now I am just compiling in a different method, gcc -o. -o means object compiling and linking. gcc -o. Then after -o, what file you want to link with? I want to link with the file called as ls. The source file is ls.c. Please see the command gcc -o is object linking and compiling. To which file you want to link? I want to use ls. What is the source file? ls.c. Now when you run it, okay, now when I type ls, what happens is it will show you the files list and files and folders. Now see that there is a ls executable file available. Please see this here, a ls executable file is there. Now how can I run this file? So as I told you that /ls. So whenever ls is typed, it will always check the global path, not on the local path. But when you want to run a file which is locally available, then I can use /ls. It will show you sum is 3. Please see that /ls is showing sum is 3, whereas ls is showing the files and folders. Now you understand the difference. The command here is to another command here is r gcc -o ls or any name file name.c. So this is the command that we can run for. So now you can see that there is no a.out. So as per this command, there is no a.out. So a.out is already removed. So even after compiling, we don't get a.out. Instead of that, we send it to our own linkable file. We have sent it. So that's what this ls file. Okay. So not only that, we can give any name here. So gcc ls, I can give, let's say Pradeep Kumar. I can give. Okay. Now you can check it ls. So already this ls is there, and already and one more file called as Pradeep Kumar is created. Now /Pradeep Kumar. Once you run it, the sum is 3. Okay, so now you can see ls-l, you can check it. The Pradeep Kumar file, you can see that it is having permission of RWX. Only owner have the writing permission. Execution permission everyone has. So anybody can execute this file. Okay, so that is the beauty of this Linux machine. Okay, so having said some of these commands that we have run it, some basic commands to work with. So you can just practice these commands if you are not comfortable with Linux for a period of time. But then we know that how we can go autocomplete. See, please, for example, now see ls. Now I want to go inside this folder. Let's say ns all-in-one 3.27. So what I do is, usually people either cd ns all-in-one 3.27. So when I do that, they are simply typing it, it's there. Suppose for example, some people will like the ns all-in-one 3.27. Now when they type it, they get no such file or directory. So what error I have made? I didn't include one n here in this ns all-in-one. That I didn't include any one here. So to avoid these kind of mistakes, what you do is cd ns, type the first few letters and press the tab twice. So once or twice. So if more than 2 files available with the starting letter of ns, then 2 times you have to use it. So ns all-in-one, then n. See, now one time, another time is there are 2 folders start with n. So now I want to use ns, then again ns, then tab. Okay, so now easily it can be done. So you need not type the entire characteristic or entire characters, just simply use the tab frequently. So to autocomplete a folder inside a terminal, use tab once or twice. So you'll get to move very fastly, so that you can able to work smartly rather than typing each and every character. Okay, then you can use up arrow. So whatever commands you have used earlier, you can use it through the command called as history. So the history command will fetch you all the commands that you have typed since you log in your machine or any point of time. So you can see that I have just done from this today morning. I have done so many commands like this. So everything will be history. Okay, so that means that history is a command to history, the command to show all the commands you have used. Okay, so that's what this history. So the history command, you can store it in a separate file also. So I will be showing you that in a next lecture. Okay, so this is lecture number Linux lecture number 1. I will be putting lecture number 2 also there, so that you can be comfortable with working in Linux operating system. So thank you for listening.